On the news, Nigeria records first case of COVID-19 as disease spreads to sub-Saharan Africa. Federal government condemned terrorist attacks on Christians. And South Africa moves to repatriate citizens from Wuhan. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Anetta Felix. Nigerians have been asked not to panic following the confirmation of the first case of coronavirus in the country. The disease, which is often spread through contact with flu from the eyes, nose and mouth of an infected person, was reported in Lagos on Friday. The Nigerian government says it has begun working closely with authorities of Lagos State and other health agencies in the country to contain any possible spread of the virus. Fidelia Aguncha has more on that story.
Nigeria becomes the third African country to report a confirmed case of COVID-19 after Egypt and Algeria. Just like the two other countries, Nigeria's first infected person is a foreigner, an Italian man who arrived the country through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos.
The case was confirmed on the 27th of February 2020 and is the first to be reported in Nigeria since the beginning of the outbreak in China in January 2020. It is an Italian citizen who works in Nigeria and returned from Milan, Italy to Lagos, Nigeria on the 25th of February 2020. The patient is clinically stable with no serious symptoms and is being managed at the Infectious Disease Hospital in Yaba, Lagos.
With the infected person quarantined, the Lagos state government says there is no cause for alarm. At this press conference, the state health commissioner reveals the affected Italian is responding to treatment and efforts are in place to identify persons he might have made contact with.
The important thing to know now is that the patient is confined. We have aggressively started to identify all his contacts all the way to the airline, and that process started around 3 a.m. This morning. It continues as we speak. We would like to assure everybody that we are on this case to make sure that we can identify everybody that he has come into contact with. His symptoms are subsiding. He does not have any symptoms of respiratory disease, which is probably a good thing, but he does have fever and body pains. If he had respiratory symptoms, it is probably likely that he may be more contagious than he is at the moment.
There is currently no cure for COVID-19, but thousands of infected persons in China have successfully recovered from the ailment. The federal government says it's working closely with Chinese authorities to contain the outbreak.
The multi-sectoral coronavirus preparedness group, led by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, has immediately activated its National Emergency Operations Center. We have received a lot of cooperation, 2 visits already from His Excellency, the Ambassador of China, who has come visited us 2 times to reassure us of his commitment and to give us support in any way. They sent us a treatment protocol because they have successfully treated over 4,000 or 5,000 people in their country. They sent a treatment protocol which we have sent to our centers there to study and add to what they already know.
The ministry, however, charged Nigerians to pay close attention to their health and practice safety measures.
Please be reminded that most people who become infected may experience only mild illness and recover easily, but it can be more severe in other people, particularly those who are elderly and those who have other underlying chronic diseases. All Nigerians should therefore take care of their own health.
The novel coronavirus broke out in the Chinese city of Wuhan in December 2019. It has so far spread to no fewer than 50 countries across the world, infecting close to 100,000 people, with a death toll nearing 3,000. Its symptoms include fever, cough, and difficulty breathing. Safety measures like washing of hands thoroughly with soap and water, using nose masks, and reporting suspected cases to health practitioners have been advised by the World Health Organization. Fidelia Aguncha, TV360, Lagos.
Well, mixed reactions have trailed the recent confirmation of Nigeria's first case of COVID-19 in Lagos. While some question Nigeria's readiness to effectively contain the disease, others called on the authorities to put in place measures that will help detect infected persons attempting to gain entry into the country.
I was shocked, as a matter of fact. We've been running safe for the past few months. This has been going on. And with this news, it's not a pleasant one. If what's happening in China decides to repeat itself here, we as the Nigerian government, the Ministry of Health, are they all geared up? I understand that there are enough measures that the government has put in place, and Ministry of Health has put in place to ensure there are checks at our entry points, the airport, and all that. But how ready are we as Nigerians for this kind of situation?
There's supposed to be a kind of a sensitization all around the places. Sensitized schools, market women, villages, everywhere. And even our airports, our borders are very, very porous in Nigeria. Our government should start taking things serious.
We have to close down for a week. That's throughout the whole of next week. We are not coming in for our usual training again because of the virus. Said the government has found a more precise measure for controlling the virus.
Still on the recent coronavirus outbreak, the federal government has warned Nigerians against peddling fake information about the development on social media. At a press briefing in Abuja, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, assured Nigerians that the government is on top of the situation. He added that the federal government is working with social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter to check the spread of fake news about the virus. Mohammed also urged social media users to verify information before sharing with others and ensure safety measures are practiced to prevent further spread of the disease. The federal government has said that attacks targeted at Christians by insurgents are aimed at triggering religious war and throwing the nation into chaos. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said this in Abuja during a press conference with journalists. Mohammed, who was reacting to the attack on a Christian village, Kwarangulum, near Chibok, and the killing of some prominent Christian officials in recent times, says the insurgents have realized how sensitive and divisive religion can be, and they're exploiting it. He also said the insurgents have run out of options in their battle against Nigeria and are desperate now to stay relevant, hence devising this new means.
Some have misinterpreted this to insinuate a systematic campaign to persecute Christians in Nigeria. This is absurd and very unfair to the men and women who are daily battling insurgents. These men and women are both Christians and Muslims. The truth is that having run out of options in their battle against Nigeria, the insurgents are desperate to stay relevant, to stay in the news, hence their cowardly and senseless strategy targeting Christians as part of their increasing resort to the use of guerrilla tactics. We want to once again appeal to our leaders, especially religious leaders, not to fall for the antics of Boko Haram and Islam, who are trying to divide us along religious lines by targeting Christians for attacks. This is the last desperate move by a decimated and disillusioned band of killers and psychopaths to stay relevant amid constant decimation by our gallant troops.
On April 27, 2020, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos will give judgment in the case filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, seeking the final forfeiture of 2 houses in Ilorin, Kwara State, belonging to a former Senate President, Bukola Saraki. In its submission before the court, counsel to the commission, Rotimi Oyedepo, said the former Senate President spent 1.9 billion naira on 2 houses, funds which he alleged were stolen from the coffers of Kwara State. The agency obtained an interim order to temporarily forfeit the houses to the federal government on December 2nd, 2019, and are now urging the courts to make the interim forfeiture order permanent. But Saraki's lawyer, Ogunwumiju, opposed the suit, saying the houses in question were built from Saraki's legitimate earnings. Justice Ruwan Alkaiwa thereafter fixed April 27th for judgment. A faction of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State has suspended its secretary, Semiu Sodipo, for 10 years over alleged anti-party activities. The Bayo-Dayo-led faction announced its suspension on Thursday at a stakeholders meeting at the party secretariat in Abeokuta, the state capital of Ogun. The faction also nominated Labre Balogun as Sodipo's successor. Reacting to this, Sodipo described his suspension as illegal and of no substance, insisting that he remains the state secretary of the PDP. Meanwhile, the PDP faction chairman accused the national chairman of the party, Uche Secondos, of complicity in the leadership tussle of the state chapter of the party, saying his faction of the PDP remains the legitimate one. The German government has pledged to boost its bilateral ties with Nigeria. The German ambassador to Nigeria, Brigitte Ori, gave this assurance during the 6th meeting of the Nigeria-Germany Binational Commission's Political Working Group in Abuja. The envoy says German investors are interested in investing in Nigeria, but were worried about the volatility of the Nigerian environment. She also described the relationship between Nigeria and Germany as not just important, but very strategic, as it offers key areas of mutual interest.
It is therefore with a lot of hope and conviction that these Nigeria-German relations, at whatever level we focus, will help in addressing both development challenges of Nigeria and the security challenges that we face. Your Excellencies, I have no doubt that we at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria and Germany, who are in the nucleus of our country's relations, will explore every opportunity, including this political working group, to sustain the flourishing ties.
If there is electricity, business will come. If cement comes, more big names will come. Medium and small family companies will come. Long-term investment will come. Sustainable economic development will be there. And that is creating perspectives for those who might want to try it rather here in Nigeria than abroad. So there is a huge political meaning to it, and I place confidence here that together with the Nigerian partners, this big German company will succeed in getting it done.
The government has started working on a framework for legal migration to Germany, because we know that migration is needed, but, and I think that's understandable, the population wants to have the feeling at least that the government has a grip on migration, that it is controlling migration. And this is one of the major projects we will see in the next month.
The Nigerian Army has constructed several facilities in the Ikeja cantonment to provide decent and comfortable accommodation for its personnel. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuka Buratai, carried out an inspection on the facilities in Ikeja on Friday. At the inspection tour, Buratai also revealed that the Army is partnering with the Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center to start a retirement plan initiative for men in the armed forces. This next report has more.
The Nigerian Army is making sure to prioritize the welfare of officers. To this end, the force is partnering with Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center to start a farming initiative for officers and their families. According to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuko Buratai, this is to boost the morale of the officers so that they can work at the maximum level to deliver the mandate of the force.
Here in the Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center here in Oshodi, to see the progress of work that's going on. This center is quite unique and special institution where we train our personnel who are preparing for retirement into the society. They learn a lot of skills that will prepare them to seamlessly, transit from the military service to the civil life, where they will be further useful to themselves and to the society.
The commander of the Nigeria Armed Forces Resettlement Center revealed that a demonstration camp has been set up in Ikeja Air Force Base to see how feasible the farming plan is in Lagos State.
We are already putting up a demonstration farm in the Ikeja Air Force Base, and we will be delighted, because I informed the GOC too, that if he's interested, we'll be delighted to extend the same gesture to the cantonment or any other suitable place that he will give us here. We will plant hybrid fruits that will grow in a couple of months, so that the Barrack community can not only eat, but those who are interested in going further to plant and grow on a commercial scale will have a basis with which to start.
The Chief of Army Staff also reviewed some of the plans that has been put in place for retiring officers.
The Nigerian Army Farms and Ranches Limited, which you probably know, and they are into several skills development for our retiring personnel, which including farming in areas of agricultural products or produce, in terms of poultry, in terms of animal husbandry, and a host of others. So these are the areas we will further collaborate to see that while even in service they have something doing, and the space is very wide. And, we also like to carry their families along. This is not only, although presently their focus is on the service personnel from the armed forces, but he's also expanding to include the families and other civilians who will be interested. So we are going to do that to ensure our children, our wards, our wives and husbands, key into this program.
There has been frequent concerns over the accommodation, allowances and overall welfare of military personnel across the country. This is one way the federal government seeks to show that indeed it appreciates the significant role of the army to the nation. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Lagos.
The National Association of Polytechnic Students, NAPS, has distanced itself from a planned protest by some students against the nation's service chiefs and has instead thrown its weight behind the military's top hierarchy. NAPS National President Sunday Asuku made this known at a press conference on Thursday. According to him, NAPS took their stance after a series of meetings with security experts both within and outside the country. He opines that the solution to insecurity was intergovernmental and multidimensional support and not the sack of the service chiefs. The Polytechnic students also assured that they support the next-level agenda of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration and would not be a party to any move poised to undermine the current administration.
The call for sacking of the service chief is the highest form of politicization and stultification of security in Nigeria, sponsored by politicians who have boasted to oust the president by all means. Despite the recent setback in the war against terrorism, it's obvious that there are obvious achievements recorded under the current military leadership. The service chiefs have done a lot to stabilize our democracy and security, which are needed for development. And I want to advise Nigerian students, especially the Polytechnic hand, not to allow themselves to be used as a tool to stampede President Muhammadu Buhari into making rash decisions. We dissociate ourselves from the public protest, as it's not in our place to decide the removal of service chief in this country.
What we can celebrate in the area of security in Nigeria. What we have recently is just a setback. That is the duty of every Nigerian. We need to support them both in prayers. We need to support them spiritually, physically, mentally. Not to come out to let them feel as if maybe they've not made any contribution.
You're still watching News Now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back.
problem. Now simplify.
That the election has been postponed and Nigerians have been reacting to the
local area of Lagos as early as 7 some minutes past the incident has been managed.
Headquarters this morning we have
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
You're welcome back, and it's now time for business with Fidelia Aguncha. Hello, Fidelia.
Hi, Aneta.
Please bring us up to date with the latest business stories today.
Thank you. The federal government has ordered a forensic audit of the operations of the electricity distribution companies, DISCOs. The decision was reached at the National Economic Council meeting chaired by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo. Speaking with reporters at the end of the meeting, Philip Shuaibu, Deputy Governor of Edo State, said governors were asked to submit details of their investment in the DISCOs from 2013 till date. He also said the Nasir El-Rufai-led ad hoc committee on power was given additional 2 months to audit the DISCOs over their alleged poor investment in the sector. In January 2020, El-Rufai had said that the federal government spent the sum of 1.7 trillion naira on electricity in the past 3 years without any significant results. We will now review activities on the stock market after this break. The Nigeria equities market is recording its biggest drop yet for the year, dropping by over 300 billion naira, and that's pushing the market down by 2.21%, with the all-share index closing at 26,216 basis points. Well, let's now look at the market summary. Trading activity is pretty high. The market was quite active because there was so much sell-offs as investors went into panic mode following the report of a confirmed case of the coronavirus in Nigeria. The total equity sold on the floor of the market today sums up at 6.1 billion naira, and volume coming in at 416 units. The top losers are Presco, Nigeria Breweries, Stanbic IBTC Bank and Guarantee Trust Bank. In fact, the market fell so much that there were a total of 41 losers and just 2 gainers, with the remaining equities closing unchanged, and that was just about 4 of them. Flour Mill and Vitafoam were the only 2 equities that managed to post gains on the floor of the market today, while Ababe DS and Thomas SWY closed unchanged, as you can see right here. And to the global market, the FTSE, Dow and Nikkei are still falling, just like they did yesterday. And this is as the coronavirus continues to spread to more countries across the world. Oh, that's it from the world of business. It's back to Aneta.
Thanks for the update, Fidelia. Still on the coronavirus epidemic, President Cyril Ramaphosa has directed the repatriation of South African citizens from Wuhan City in Hubei Province, China. South African cabinet has decided on this course of action after due consideration of the circumstances and following several requests from the families of South Africans in the city. According to a statement on Thursday, it is estimated that there are 199 South African citizens in Wuhan, according to the latest consolidated list from the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. The statement further revealed that at this stage, 132 of those in Wuhan have expressed the desire to be repatriated. COVID-19 has currently spread to no fewer than 50 countries, with close to 100,000 cases confirmed and the death toll nearing 3,000. And in sports, Super Eagles coach Kenneth Rowe has received an offer for his contract renewal from the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF. Rowe, whose current deal lapses in June, has been offered a 2-year deal to remain as coach of the 3-time African champions. It was gathered that the German was offered a reduced monthly salary and bonuses to remain in charge of the Eagles. So far in Rowe's 4-year spell, the Eagles have played 40 matches, recorded 23 wins, 9 defeats and 8 draws since his first game at the helm of the team against Tanzania in 2016. And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Aneta Felix. Thanks for watching.